This utility outlook is valid the rest of today, Saturday, through Thursday, July the 16th. Well, dry project weather goes by the wayside with isolated benign thunderstorm threat that develops on Sunday afternoon. This across mainly the Northeast Kingdom border areas. It'll become potentially more robust with heavy rain-producing storms on Monday, and then again along about Wednesday and Thursday. Tuesday might turn out to be a decent project weather day, but there is a very, very slight risk of an isolated thunderstorm cell. Nothing extreme, but moderate heat indices during peak hours during the high temperatures of the day is to be expected at times, really starting tomorrow Sunday and continuing through about Wednesday or Thursday. Lowered confidence over time as we're starting to see model conditions not at their particularly highest skill. Water Prediction Center 7-day total accumulated precipitation. This will be valid through it looks like next Saturday morning, the 18th of July, and really not a tremendous amount of rainfall. 1 inch mark here, a half-inch mark here. We're going to be basically in between. So let's look at the daily situation here, starting with today. And you can see the little bit of latency here, but there is a cold front that's basically going to be showing up a little bit later on Saturday afternoon with probably some thunderstorms along this frontal boundary. This will drift very slowly into the state of Vermont. You can see that kind of flare up, and then it'll show itself again during Sunday afternoon with an isolated cell or two up near the Canadian border. The frontal system appears to push a little bit backdoor toward the southwest, but then falls apart across the state of Vermont. And then it dissipates out, but leftovers of that frontal system will then flare up more showers and thunderstorms, mostly starting across the really western areas of the state during the afternoon hours on Monday. And later in the afternoon, you're looking at that continuing into the early evening hours and before dissipating out. A little bit of a drier day on Tuesday, but I'm not really confident right now that this is going to stay that way. So an isolated thunderstorm risk across mainly northern Vermont, but indicated dry weather by the latest computer models, the European anyway. And then we have this frontal boundary that works in, it looks like, during the day on Wednesday. And then it'll be hanging around as it looks right now on Thursday, but in a lesser scale. Wednesday could be some fairly robust thunderstorms we'll have to watch. I think of all the days ahead, that appears to be the day to watch with that advancing frontal system. And looking at the temperatures forecast, this is the next 5 days, anomalous temperatures near normal. So we're balancing out very nicely. 3 days later, near normal. A little cooler surrounding some parts of the area with a little bit of a warm up across the south. GFS ensemble models do illustrate the same kind of shower threat tomorrow afternoon, isolated in nature across mainly northern Vermont. This is centered on Burlington, and then a little bit more robust as we get into Monday afternoon and evening. A little bit of a decrease on Tuesday, and then beyond that, we're back into shower and thunderstorm territory as we get into Wednesday. GFS ensemble temperature forecast, starting with Saturday into the rest of the week. Looks like the models have a little bit of trouble here, roughly past the 15th. So we're talking into next week, and otherwise fairly uniform max and min temperatures. A little bit of a peak on Sunday and into Monday. A little bit of a downfall, but temperatures to remain relatively warm through this period. And you can also see the separation of some of the computer modeling at this point. And we have our max mins today, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, a little bit of a cool off on Thursday, and so forth. Now in terms of dew point temperatures, looks like we max out really on Sunday afternoon into Monday. A little bit of a dip on Tuesday. That's the day that could have some potentially good project weather. We'll be watching that very carefully for any projects that'll be taking place next week. And then looking at a little bit of an uptick as we get into Wednesday, which looks like heat indices could be a little bit stronger at that point. And then a cold front definitely lowers the dew point temperatures as we get later into the Thursday time frame and Friday. And a couple of interesting things to note. This is precipitable water with the entire U.S., Vermont here, and in the Pacific tropics off of the west coast of Mexico, you can see a lot of high precipitable waters there and a lot of tropical storm activity. This is one that will be coming down the road, it looks like, to the end of next week. And heads up all the way up 10 days, gives it almost off Southern California. A lot of monsoon air is going to try to get entrained, and some of that occasionally will make it into our neck of the woods here. That's it from now. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights.